Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's time for the Level 1 podcast. Today is Sunday, the 21st of January, 2024. Of course, I'm DSP in the flesh. And today is not gameplay day, meaning there's no gameplay today whatsoever to be had here on the channel. Camera's a little crooked. Today we are breaking up the week about halfway through it with something very different. First of all, today we're going to be talking about, that's right, the Superbowl Bash. That's coming up in just a few weeks. If you're not aware, the Super Bowl is in exactly 3 weeks from today here in the United States. And I am gearing up and ready. I got my pigskin nicely inflated. I got my big foam finger. I got my football helmet. But those are in the closet. And it is time for us to plan our marathon event for this year. Last year we did one for the first time ever. I had never done a sports related event. It went really well. People overall feedback, overwhelmingly was positive, and people were like, wow, that was really cool. Do it again. But the thing is, times change. For example, last year, that event featured me reacting to Super Bowl advertisements from yesteryear. It also featured me doing a WWE Fantasy Battle Royal. But let's be honest here. Number one, I haven't played a WWE game in about a year. I didn't even buy the one last year because I really felt like it wasn't very pertinent to what I do today. And I don't know if people are interested in retro ads this year, So what we're going to do today here on the show is we are going to plan what we're doing for that event. Now, we might not come to an ultimate conclusion of everything that we're doing that day, but I at least like to get some ideas so that we can really start to hammer this out. Keep in mind, this is the first special event that we're even doing in 2024. The last one was the Christmas event, and we're not doing them based around hitting goals of support or anything like that. We're just doing them for fun. I like doing them to break up content. In truth, by the time the Super Bowl rolls around, we'll have been playing the big new releases that are coming out this Friday for 2 straight weeks, so it'll probably feel good to break it up and do something a little different. So that's the whole idea of what we're going to be talking about and doing today on the show, is trying to figure out exactly what you guys want to see during that event. We'll talk it out. I'm open to all kinds of suggestions, whether it's talking about certain topics, gaming, drinking, food, anything, whatever you want. So let's see. Let's get that going. All right. So today, whoa, almost fumbled. Today will be about that, but also today is my weekly React day, where we head over to DSP Reacts and I do my clips show, DSP versus the Internet, where channel members suggest clips for me to watch, and it's been a great start to the year, I would say, with a couple interesting shows so far. I'm looking forward to this one. This will be the third one for the year. As we approach episode 50, because if I remember correctly, I think we are currently at, episode 4, is this 48 or 49? I'm not exactly sure. I can check though. So we're almost to our 50 episode anniversary. Okay, it's going to be episode 48 today. Which is pretty crazy to think about, 50 episodes, but we've been doing it every single week all year except for Halloween week because I was sick. So, yeah, we're really racking it up there, and very excited to see what you guys have submitted for this week over there on the channel. But also, tonight we are doing something special on my late stream because, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, for the first time in 14 years, we're returning to the world of Red Dead Redemption 1 as played in 2010. Because tonight, for the first time ever, over on my newly rebranded channel, DSP Throwback, we're going to be doing a react stream where I'm going to watch and react to my original playthrough of Red Dead Redemption. This will be interesting. I get the feeling that many of you probably have not checked out the react channel, or excuse me, the Throwback channel yet, correct? You've probably heard me talk about it for the last several weeks, but you didn't really give it a look. Maybe you just weren't interested in those playthroughs. However, tonight, we're going over there together to do a late night stream where I'm going to be watching probably the first couple of hours of the Red Dead playthrough and reacting to it. Letting you know what I think of that commentary, of that gameplay, of the newly upgraded visuals that are now on that channel. And of course, I'm going to be adding context because I'm going to let you know what it was like back then, making those videos with a camera and having to adjust coloring and exposure and everything on the fly. It was a very, very different experience making content back then than it is today, for sure. Completely different, okay? So that's going to be really fun, and that's tonight, but I just want to let you guys know that's going to start roughly at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Why 7:30 p.m.? Because I need time to set up the channel properly. Being that this is going to be my first stream ever over there, I got to be sure that Nightbot, the chat bot, is in place and ready to help moderate. I've got to be sure that I've got all of the commands working, but also that I've got the moderators in place, and also that I've got the animations and things working too. Because it's the first time I'm ever doing it on that channel, so I have to set everything up, and that's going to take a while, you know? I need extra time to do that. And not only do I have to do it over on my desktop, but then I got to make sure that I can also open it and get it working here on the laptop. So it's like, you know, a lot of work to get all that set up. So I need the extra time, but the good news is I will still be doing at least 2 hours of reacting to the Red Dead playthrough. I don't know how many parts exactly we'll get through. Each part's around 30 minutes long, but we'll see how it goes. That's why I'm all dressed up today. I'm ready to ride. I don't know about you guys. You know, I haven't seen any Red Dead in a very long time. It'll be exciting to watch this back now and react with all of you. And, of course, this is a great opportunity to support that channel. You know, that channel, DSP Throwback, has a lot of time and effort put into it at this point. You know, getting that channel off the ground, rebranding it, all the new artwork, having these videos, you know, re-uploaded, re-edited, run through improvements, getting them out there with proper thumbnails, proper titles, and now actually going into actual streaming for the first time ever on that channel. It's a lot of work. So it'd be great if you could show up to the stream and support it in some way, whether it be maybe joining the channel as a member, or a super chat or a tip or whatever on the late stream. That would be nice, since it is the premiere stream over on that channel. Okay. Now, when we're over there tonight, I'll explain more. This is not going to be something that I'm doing frequently over there. Basically, I'm thinking every once in a while, you know, as a rare thing for variety, I'll do a stream over there. Sometimes it will be me reacting to the old gameplay. Sometimes maybe I'll just do a hangout session where we reminisce about the past and what it was like being a YouTuber 15 years ago. There's different things I can do on that channel to break it up. But this stream hopefully will serve as the final push that will get that channel into full partnership status so I can monetize the content. Right now over there, I've got super chats, super thanks, and memberships enabled, but no ads. So tonight, I'm hoping this stream will push us into full ad enabling moving forward, so that way all of my videos on that channel can now be monetized fully, okay? We'll see how that goes tonight. Fair enough? All right, cowpokes, I'll see you over on DSP Throwback later tonight. I guess we'll save the hat for then. Cool. So, that's awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. I have several topics to talk about today. First of all, a follow-up on the announcement about the documentary being canceled that I did on yesterday's show. I also want to recap what we did on yesterday's streams because Pal World is all the buzz right now in the gaming community, and I want to let you know how that went. And then we're going to do the schedule, and then we're going to talk about the Super Bowl event. Cool? That's what's on the agenda for today. Okay. Okay. So, first of all, let's start with the whole big announcement yesterday that my documentary is canceled. All right. If you want the full story, watch yesterday's podcast. I went into extensive detail about all the considerations, all the factors, and what went into it. But in a nutshell, to summarize very quickly, so then we can address this whole follow-up and reaction to the announcement. I'm 41 years old. I'm going to be 42 sooner rather than later. All right. I am happily married and have a family, right? Not only, my wife and my pet, but I have, family members, parents, other people who were affected by me and my well-being. I have a long-standing, dedicated community of viewers and people who like me and my content. And I appreciate that so very much that you guys have been along with me. A lot of you have been along with me for a very long time. And that is awesome. Some of you are more newcomers, and that's also awesome. But you're all along this crazy ride with me called life, and also all of the streaming fun that we do every single day, right? And what I've come to realize more and more, particularly in the last year, is that my actions, what I say and do, what opportunities that I choose to take advantage of or opportunities that I choose to pass on, don't just affect me anymore. They affect everyone around me who has had any kind of relation with me or contact with me, okay? And that's something that I need to really remember more often and make decisions based off of more appropriately. Because, excuse me, when I was older, okay, when I was younger, I was a more sporadic guy, right? I would say and do whatever. I didn't give two craps about who responded or who said anything. Why? Because it was just me. It's all about me and my life. And, if I was someone who doesn't really give two shits about what anyone says, then who cares, right? Let everyone rage and freak out and have a reaction. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to move along my merry way. I don't care what anyone says about me, right? Actually, when I was really young, there was always this thing I still remember to this day, right? I was in high school, and I'm sitting at my desk in a class, and there's these two girls who were in my class who, I was friendly with them, but it wasn't like we were friends, you know what I mean? Like we were cordial. And I remember at that point in my high school years, it was like a very hectic time for almost everyone because I guess like homecoming dance was coming up and all this shit. So, it's like end of year stuff and people are freaking out. And the girl turns to me and she says, "Phil, how do you do it?" Right? And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "How do you do it? Here you are sitting here at your desk, and you look completely cool as a cucumber. You're not freaking out. You're not stressing out." She goes, "How? Homecoming's right around the corner. All of us are planning. What are our plans? How are we going to handle it? What are we wearing? How are we getting there? Who are we going with? What's this? What's that? What's this?" And she says, and then, of course, school. We got tests coming up and this and that. And you're just sitting there. Well, everyone else in this class is all stressed out and freaking out. You're just sitting there relaxed. I turned to her and I said, "It's because I don't care about any of it. Like, none of this really matters, right? This is just a fleeting moment in time. If you think about it in the stretch of our lives or whatever, this isn't going to mean anything. Give it another few months, you won't even care about it anymore. So why do I sit around and freak about this? I don't care." I was kind of a very nonchalant attitude when I was going through my younger life. I didn't care about what anyone said or did. I didn't care about impressions. I didn't care about appearance. I didn't care about shit. I was just going through it. Who cares? Coast through it, get to the next thing. While everyone else around me was always on edge freaking out, right? That's always how I was when I was younger, right? But the problem is you can only get so far through life with that attitude. And I feel like a lot of the times that I've gone through this 15 plus year journey of being a YouTuber, that was kind of the attitude. Don't give a shit. Don't care about who says what. Don't care about any impact on anything. Just keep going. And that's, just keep going is a great attitude to have. It's determination and it's being positive. But at the same time, sadly, when that's your attitude, you tend to ignore other things going on. I think that's a lot of the time, that's what's happened to me. Why am I in the position that I'm in today where the vast majority of people on YouTube who talk about me always talk about me in a negative light? Because people literally started shitting all over me on YouTube. And I just kind of ignored it. I didn't pay attention to it. I certainly didn't ride that wave and make something out of it. Like, I definitely could have capitalized on when this is how you don't play and things were coming out. And I didn't. Instead, I just chose to kind of keep going forward and doing my own thing and ignore all the nonsense. And what happened is this movement became this toxic community, this really crazy, almost like TMZ-esque group of obsessed fucking people who every moment, if I fart on stream, they'll report it like, the president got assassinated or something. Like, that's how fucked up and crazy these people are. And this has just become something that's arbitrary on YouTube now. Really. Like, this is just allowed. It's normal now on YouTube. That's fine behavior. I mean, it's not. Anyone who's a normal person who sees this kind of behavior would say, what, are you out of your mind? Yeah, these people are, but that's just how they are. They've made years of their living off of obsessing about me and my little intricacies and things that happen in my content and streams, right? These people are just crazy. And a lot of the times I think that's because I went through my life not really caring so much about the impact of things that I say and do, and ignoring anyone who really kind of responded to what I said and did, and just moving on my merry way. Now, that's actually to some extent the right thing to do, because you can't just care about what every little person says, right? I got so many people who are negative about me. Why would I give two shits about what the vast majority of them say or do? What's funny is, during this whole thing, this whole documentary thing, like Mike Klum saying, oh, you got so many people who don't like you, like Mudahar. And I'm like, Mudahar? Who the fuck is that? Oh, that's like that guy, Some Ordinary Gamers or whatever. I'm like, I literally don't know who that is. Apparently this guy has always hated on me and talked about me in a negative way for years. I literally don't know who the fuck it is, right? I don't, and apparently, oh, this is an infamous guy who doesn't like you. I don't even know that. I don't know any of these fucking people. There's entire communities based around this stuff, and I don't even know who the fuck they are. I have no idea, right? When that guy contacted me last year, he's like, I'll pay you $5,000 for an interview. And I messaged him back. I was like, I don't want your money. Go donate it somewhere if that's really what you want to do. I'll have an interview with you, but not about the toxic stuff I've already answered. Anything else I'll talk about, just not that. And then he just ghosted me and never responded ever again, and apparently went on to make even more negative videos and things about me that, again, I don't know who he is. I've never seen any of them, right? But this is what I mean. Like, when I see and hear things about me, it's always negative, so it's like, why would I pay attention to it, right? But in this case, with this documentary, right, I really listened. I wanted to hear what would be the reaction when I said I was going to be doing a documentary about me, right? And, I mean, in general, there were two big reactions that hit. The first reaction over here was all the people who don't like me. And their reaction was unadulterated joy. Because instead of having the content that they make about me be limited just to what you see on a stream every day, they felt that this documentary was going to be their opportunity to get inside information about me and my life and my family and my history and all kinds of stuff that hasn't been made public, and to use that to make unlimited amounts of content. I mean, they were seeing this documentary as a way for them to have content to milk for years, right? They were going to take every little possible thing out of this documentary and microanalyze it and make conspiracy theories about it, just like they do now with what happens on a stream, but times 1 million, right? So this was just going to extrapolate their ability to talk shit and give them exactly what they're looking for, okay? Now, of course, this documentary is not just about them. In general, the reason that this documentary was an interesting idea to me was this was going to give people who don't necessarily follow those groups, but have heard of me, likely in a negative light because of those groups, to finally get an honest take on me. The documentary was not going to be something overly positive. There was going to be positivity and the truth about my life and things in it, but it also was going to have all the negative stuff, right? All the shit that I've been through, the mistakes I've made that I've fessed up to and apologized for over the years that I've been a YouTuber. I mean, that's the thing. When you are a content creator with a public face, essentially, you have all of your flaws exposed to the world on a daily basis. With me, more than most, because anything I say hits this crazy hater echo chamber that just resonates over the internet. You'll never hear about something that I did that was good, but everyone will hear about something that I did that was bad, right? So, you know, because of that, I knew that a lot of people had a crazy bad opinion of me, and maybe this documentary would be a chance for those who are kind of neutral to see both sides and make a judgment for themselves. I would hope that if someone who was neutral saw the truth of the matter, who I really am, what I really do for a work day, which is not an easy day. This is not a sit back and be lazy today kind of a day. I'm a workhorse. You know, I'm here 6 days a week, full time, busting my butt, putting out content. I got a whole real life behind the scenes, you know, married, maintaining a household, doing all the normal things that anyone would do, plus all this work that I do 6 days a week. It's pretty crazy, you know? And a lot of people don't know that. They just want to hear that Phil's some lazy, fat, middle-aged dude with chip crumbs all over his shirt, and he just sits around lazing about and putting out videos. Maybe there are content creators out there like that. In fact, I hate to say it, I think that people compare me to other people who they call lolcows, and they think I'm them when I'm not even close to fucking being them. I mean, couldn't be further from the truth. Do I look anything like them? Right? In any capacity? Do I act like them? No. But I still get grouped in with them, and that's unfair. So maybe this would have been a chance to actually get the real me out there, right? And in fact, I know for a fact that there are certain parties involved, actually certain big YouTubers, who are, they talked about me in a negative light, but at the same time, they're kind of fascinated and they want to hear the real story. And they were invested. They wanted to know. They wanted this documentary to happen, right? And that's really who I felt the target audience was. If the target audience isn't my fans, you guys already know me. So why would you care about this documentary? It's definitely not made for my haters. They're going to hate on me no matter what, right? It's really for this third neutral group. That's who the documentary was really for, okay? But the problem was, undoubtedly, the other reaction that I heard to my announcement of the documentary, and that was basically my biggest, longest time supporters, fans, viewers, and family members who I all spoke with about this. And essentially the overwhelming response that I got from them was, don't do it. All right? And there was all different reasons, okay? Essentially, the biggest reason that everyone really feels is the reason I shouldn't do this is the fact that every time that I have tried to get represented fairly or get a fair shake, it has never worked. It has always been blown up the wrong way, right? Or I get betrayed or treated poorly. And again, my fans are already with me. They don't need this. And I am happy where I am with my business. You know, I'm making a living. I'm having a good time, right? It's not like I'm in any kind of dire straits or anything like that. I mean, there's ups and downs. Right now, I'm in a downward trend because it's January. Ad revenue on YouTube is abysmally bad. It's gone. And now I've actually been negatively affected by fake memberships here on YouTube. This VPN abuse. People who normally would have become a member or re-upped their memberships now didn't. So now I'm looking every day at my income, and my channel income is now way down for the month of January as a result of this. Now I got to try to figure out some way to make that up, you know? That's the thing. I'm at a level where I'm good, but there are fluctuations. I don't have fuck you money. Like a lot of people say, oh, I'm a big YouTuber. I can do whatever I want. I'm never going to be in that position, you know? But I'm okay with where I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy with where I am. I don't need to blow up and become hugely popular on YouTube. That's not my goal, nor am I seeking that. So that's what I mean. This documentary isn't for my biggest fans or whatever, it's, and essentially their reaction is, we like things how they are right now. Okay. And hold on. I like where I am right now. I like where I am right now. I don't want to risk that and ruin it. And that's the feedback that I got from my audience is right now, all the drama of last year has worn out, correct? And because of that, we don't want that drama to come back. So please don't make it, right? This documentary seems like the next drama thing. You know, after the bullshit interview, after the harassment by Keemstar and all that shit last year, now things are finally calming down. Just focus on you, focus on your business, focus on positivity. You got a lot of good stuff coming up. Brand new releases are coming out. You got a throwback channel you're trying to get off the ground. Your wife is coming back into your content for the first time in over 5 years. All these positives happening. Why would you now want to kind of screw that up with this documentary and take this crazy big chance? And again, this was not just feedback from 1 or 2 people. I had long-standing fans emailing me and talking to me about this, family members, and I was like, all right, you know what? After listening to everyone, okay, I've decided that this is the case, right? That this is what I should do, all right? And I'm happy that I came to the decision that I did. All right, I am. I'm happy that I came to the decision that I did because I think it's the right thing for now. You know, like I said yesterday, I feel like this documentary, if I ever do one, could work, but I don't think it's now is the right time. There's too much going on. As I always also told you, I've got personal things going on in my life, all right, right now that you guys have no clue about that are affecting me and my family, and I don't see the point of putting extra stress on everything for something that's just a gamble. That it could work out, and some people might like me more, and I might get more viewers on my streams, and people might finally see me in a more positive light, or it could go the other way, and the entire internet just hates on me more. I mean, let's be honest. Boogie, with his documentary with Mike Klum, probably thought that documentary was going to help him. It did not help him. It made him look 10 times worse, and now he's in a worse off position where everyone hates him even more. So why the hell would I want to do that documentary, right? It's a risk. And again, not to say that this documentary was going to be the same as Boogie's. It was going to be a completely different project. But there's always that level of risk, right? So that's really the factors that went into it. And all things considered, after weighing through all of this, right, I decided against it, right? Again, maybe somewhere down the line, when my story has progressed further, I feel like a documentary like this is something you want to do when you've kind of reached the end of the road and now you want to tell your story. As I've told you, if I do a documentary like this, this will be it for me. I'm not going to be doing a documentary now and then in 5 years and then in 10 years. It's just now. That's it. One documentary. And I'm never doing something like that ever again. All right? So I generally feel that this is completely the right decision to make. I'm happy that I made this decision before things got too wrapped up. I basically wanted to make this decision before real work got off the ground with this, because as I said, this was going to be the week where we were going to actually plan shooting and real work. Everything up to this point was literally just a couple conversations and initial plans and ideas. That was it. Nothing else. So, you know, that's why I said, all right, I don't want to go too far, and then wheels start turning and plans start being made and things like that. And then next thing you know, you cancel late and now you kind of screw people over. I didn't want it to go that far either, you know. And that's what's hilarious, because you people in the chat have no idea what the hell any of you are talking about. There's people who you've only listened to detractors and idiots, okay? You need to stop. You're really dumb. If you listen to a single detractor channel or idiot who's talked about this, you've listened to a moron who made everything up. There's 2 people who know about this documentary, me and Mike Klum, and that's it. So idiots saying, well, oh, he spent this much money and he did this and he did that. No, you're an idiot. Why do you believe morons, right? What are you talking about, right? The whole idea of this documentary was that it was open-ended, and at any point, either Mike or I could decide against doing it, right? That was always our agreement, so that way we have the openness of doing a real work together, a real collaboration, as opposed to, you get locked into something you don't want to do, and now you're screwed. That's never what this was supposed to be, right? And that's why we had it like that. Let's say, for example, we had actually really started work on this thing, and we were months into it, but then Mike realized this just isn't very entertaining. It's not going to work. He could have canceled it. Or maybe, we're a couple months in, and then something happens, and I can't keep working on it, right? That was what it was supposed to be, but I didn't want it to get to that point. That's why I canceled it this early, right? So that basically we could be in a situation where it wouldn't be like, oh my God, we've gotten so far into all of this that now time, resources, and everything has been wasted. Like, I'll be honest, yeah, that would have been really, really disappointing if I'm taking time out from my work schedule and we film and then the documentary doesn't happen. Yeah, that would have been upsetting. And I'm sure for Mike, scheduling the filming crew to start filming and coming out here and doing all this work and all the things that we had planned for it to have work actually begin and then not come to fruition, that would have been disappointing, all right? But what you guys got to understand is that Mike is a very busy guy. He's got a ton of things going on. I'm not his only documentary. He's got a million things in the works. You're going to be seeing more from him coming up. And that's cool, I wish him the best. I was not his only project that he was working on this year. He's got a million things going on at once. I'm one of the many things in his machine that he's working on right now. So it's not a big deal. But that's the hilarious part is, again, for these crazy people who are just so obsessed on me, to them, this was the only thing in life. So the fact that this documentary is canceled must mean that this was insane amounts of time and effort wasted for everyone around. You're wrong. You're idiots. You're fucking morons. You should shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Okay. So, by the way, enjoy your bands. Okay. So that's that. And that's the end of that discussion. Really, there's no reason to bring it up again. I just wanted to let you know. The funny part about it is, like I said, now that I have canceled this documentary, you see two reactions again. The reaction from the detractor hater community is, oh, no. It's just hilarious because the first portion of the reaction was rejoicing because they think they're going to get all of this content. And now that the documentary is canceled, the reaction is panic and freaking out. And now how do we damage control this? Number one, Phil wasted all of Mike's time and money. Never happened. And number two, Phil's a coward for not doing the documentary, right? So here it is. How can we spin this into more content? Make more shit up. More controversial, make shit up, right? So that's what they do. And that's what they're going to do. That's literally all they do is they lie and they create controversy and conspiracy so they have content. They're garbage people. They shouldn't exist, all right? So I don't care about what they say. But the other reaction that I'm getting from the people who are true fans is relief. Wow, really? So you're not doing it? This is great because now we can focus on you and your content and all the hot new games coming out this year and the throwback channel and having your wife on your streams again and all this positive stuff that's already in motion, and we don't have to worry about at some point this year there's going to be big interruptions to your schedule and you're not going to be able to stream for extended periods of time during big new releases, and you're going to be overworked and overstressed. And then when this thing comes out, it's going to be an endless cycle of drama and nonsense for everyone. So I'm happy about that. That basically now people are like relaxing because of this decision. So that's what I think. I mean, if you see those reactions, I feel like I did the right thing. When I see the reaction from the hater community, the way that they reacted and freaking out, I did the right thing. And when I see relief from my truest, biggest supporters and fans, I know I did the right thing. Okay? And for those of you who just wanted drama and now you're not going to get it and you're so sad, don't worry. The lol cows are still out there for you. There's a whole fucking podcast about them, and there's tons of them for you to go make fun of. It just ain't going to be here. You're in the wrong spot. Okay? Cool. All right. So let's now continue on. And let's talk about the schedule for the week, and then let's do Super Bowl party planning. All right, so schedule for the week. Today, as I've already stated, no real gameplay today. After the stream ends, we're going to head over to DSP Reacts and do my weekly react show where I react to the clips that you guys have submitted. That should be great, and it should be fun, as usual. And then tonight on the late stream, which is now 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, I have to emphasize that the late stream is starting later, so I have extra time to set up and get it working properly. It's the first ever stream on DSP Throwback where we're going to be reacting to the Red Dead 1 playthrough from 2010. So a 14-year-old playthrough. I'm sure the commentary is going to be shocking with some of the things that I say and do, although some of it might also be quite funny. I'm actually very curious to see what the gameplay looks like. I've only seen the gameplay like on my phone, so I'm curious to see what it's going to look like in, on the app on TV with all of you, with the upscaling and everything. It should be neat, okay? So that's going to be really cool, and I hope you'll join me for that tonight. Now, please, guys, today, if you can support the streams in any way, please do. Whether that be super chats, tips, legit memberships, and legit gifted memberships. Right now, sadly, yes, I am down and behind on this month for 2 reasons. Number one is because every January, YouTube is behind on ad revenue. There's nothing you can do about that, so I'm used to that. But now, because of these fake memberships that have been coming in, that I'm literally not getting paid for, I'm now screwed because people used to say, hey, I'm going to become a member. I'm going to re-up my membership this month. And no one's doing that because they just got gifted memberships for free that I'm not getting paid for. So I have lost a significant amount of revenue that I normally would make every month because of this. So if you got a gifted membership, but you were going to become a member anyway, please consider maybe contributing in another way. Again, super chats or tips are great, and they help out a lot, and you get a shout out during a stream. Today, particularly during the React streams, it would be great to get support, especially over on the DSP Throwback channel. Since that's my first ever stream over there, it'd be great to have a good, solid first stream ever to give that channel some support and kind of legitimize the fact that I put all the effort into it, okay? So please consider it, all right? Thank you. Now, tomorrow we go back to full-time gaming. Tomorrow it's going to be Resident Evil 0 Remastered concluding. We have a boss fight to get through, and after that, I believe it's the final segment of the game in the end. But I get the feeling that boss fight's going to take ages because I don't have a lot of health, and you have to have both characters in the fight, which is really bad because basically one always gets hit and dies, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's really frustrating in that regard. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but tomorrow should be the conclusion of that playthrough. And then tomorrow night, it's the final last hurrah stream for Street Fighter 6. Blanca. I'm very excited for Blanca in Street Fighter 6. This is a good way to say goodbye to the game for now. I'm not saying I'm never going back to it. I'm just saying for now, we're going to be focusing on Tekken 8. So, final stream, Blanca. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully some great gameplay, combos, and good stuff. Tuesday, Baldur's Gate 3 returns. And then Tuesday night, we're going to do Pal World again. Pal World actually went so well yesterday with the exploration of this interesting and chill game that I want to play it as like a late night chill stream and see how it works. This very well, Pal World, could work as a game that was very similar to my Minecraft playthrough many years ago, where we just have like a one night a week where we hang out for 2.5 hours and we interact and we talk and we have fun discussion while I'm running around crafting, recruiting these pal creatures, you know, leveling up and doing stuff like that. It kind of works in that regard. So I hope that you guys will join me for that Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, final consecutive streaming day of the week, it'll be more Baldur's Gate 3 and probably Sea of Stars. And then that's the streaming week. I'm off on Thursday, but when I come back on Friday, the day stream will be the premiere of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and the late stream will be Friday Night Fights, the premiere of Tekken 8. No practice, no messing around. I'm just grabbing Paul Phoenix or King or both and going directly into online ranked multiplayer just to fuck around. And if I get destroyed, it doesn't matter. It's my first night playing the game. I don't give a shit. But I'm excited to just jump into a new fighting game like that with prerequisite knowledge of those characters from previous games and see how I do. I guess we're going to find out, okay? Cool. All right. So that is what's coming up. Hope you think that sounds good. All right. Now what I would like to do is get to our other topic, the topic that I wanted to get to today. Superbowl Bash, ladies and gentlemen. Or, to be even more appropriate, the 2024 Superbowl Bash, the second one. Last year we did this as a one-off event, a special thing. I had never done a sports-related event before. And a lot of people were very skeptical about this last year. They were yelling at me, oh, why would Phil do a sports event? He doesn't even play sports video games. And I was like, well, because it's not about that. It's about just us having fun. It's timely. You know, the Super Bowl's the day after when I do it, right? And we can just have a cool hangout day where we enjoy each other's company and do various different things, okay? So, just to give you an idea, what did we do last year? Well, number one, last year we had a segment where we reacted to retro Super Bowl ads. And that was a good hour and a half or more of the marathon, I remember particularly. I think it went well, but a lot of people think that the ad stuff should be limited just to like Black Friday. So I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in doing again this year or not, okay? Another thing we did was some gameplay, and I remember we actually played Tecmo Bowl, which was emulated on the Nintendo Switch, and that was fun, but it's very difficult, and I don't really play those games, so it was fun to mess around with, but I wasn't like I was good at it or anything, and it wasn't very entertaining, outside of the gimmick of me playing it for a few minutes and getting my ass handed to me by the NES, right? Now also, I was drinking during the course of the event, and I had a beer helmet with 2 beers that were leaking everywhere, so it was funny because I was trying to drink them, and it was like squirting everywhere and being gross. I still have the helmet. I don't have the drinking apparatus because it leaked so bad. I just threw it out after the marathon. So I still have the helmet, and yes, I will be putting on that helmet during the course of the event. I also have a series of football jerseys, 3 of them, that I can wear and alternate between during the event too, for variety purposes, okay? Will I be drinking? Yeah, I probably will be. What will I be drinking? I don't know. I guess I gotta go to the liquor store and figure that out. I'll have to see what they have. You know, I could get some beer, but outside of that, you know, maybe looking for some other stuff. I don't know. Maybe get something else. But another thing that I'm absolutely doing this year, my wife is going to look up popular Super Bowl foods, and she's going to do some homemade versions of them. So she might make our own homemade nachos. She might make homemade quesadillas baked in the oven. She might do, I don't know. You know, I have to think about what are popular foods that people eat during the Super Bowl, right? So she's probably going to be doing various things, and we'll be actually trying those out live together. I'll probably have like a a Feasting with Phil Super Bowl edition where we try out various things she makes. And this is going to be way better because last year she wasn't home for the Super Bowl event, and I tried this frozen foods, and they were atrociously bad. Do you remember? It was like pretzel bites filled with beer cheese. I ate it. I was like, this is absolutely disgusting. But I drank so much, I needed to negate the liquor. So I kept eating them. And then my stomach was like a ball of grossness. I was like, why did I do this to myself? Right? It was really bad. So this year, obviously, I want to do things differently and hopefully have better food. If my wife's here to make it, there you go. Someone said deviled eggs. Yeah, deviled eggs are great. I love deviled eggs. That's a good idea. I'll have to see if she's interested. So deviled eggs, maybe some nachos, maybe some quesadillas, something like that. If she can make like multiple things, that'll be pretty cool. We already talked about Jägermeister, Don Fanucci. Jägermeister is kind of a weird liquor that has a unique flavor to it. Sometimes it tastes sweet and sometimes it tastes like cough syrup. I don't know why, but I've had it different times and it's tasted completely different to me. I haven't had Jaeger in 100 years. I don't think I'm going to get Jaeger. Anyway, so that's going to happen, okay? Now, last year, one of the things that we did was a Fantasy Royal Rumble match in WWE 2K22. Now, I haven't played WWE 2K22, like, literally since then. So, I don't do the WWE games anymore. I'm not interested in pro wrestling anymore. I don't think I want to do that. But I guess the question is, right, what are we going to do for the event? What are your guys' ideas? I'm looking at kind of the climate of stuff that's going on right now. Definitely one thing we could do is do some multiplayer games. We could play Call of Duty. We could play Tekken 8. We could play maybe Street Fighter. Like, I have a few multiplayer games that we could absolutely do some sessions of during that day just for fun. I'm not saying we have to play them for an extended period of time, but I'm saying just for variety to throw in some competitive stuff during the stream, we could do stuff like that. All right? So, you know, let me know in that regard, excuse me, if you would like to see that. Because some people in the chat literally right now, and thank you for giving me your feedback, they're saying, don't do reacting to ads this year. We would prefer hanging out with you, food, and gameplay. Sounds good to me. Like, I'm totally down for that. That sounds fun. But we have to settle in exactly to what I'm going to be doing. Okay? What happened? Huh? Veggie pizza and nachos with chicken? What are you talking about? That's what we ordered the food, correct? Right. Okay. We ordered food last year. That's right. We ordered a veggie-style pizza that wasn't very good. They didn't put many veggies on it. And we ordered nachos with chicken in them, and those were okay. So I think it's better to have the homemade stuff this year. I think that would be a cooler idea, right? Yeah. See, that's true, too. Bookworm says the problem is if Phil wanted to play a game, he can't learn a sports game in an entire afternoon. You're right. So if, like, people are like, oh, play a video game, you know, play this sports game or whatever, I'm not going to know what I'm doing. It's not going to be very fun. If you have me play Call of Duty, that's so easy to jump into. I can easily just play Call of Duty right now at any time, jump in, have a fun session, right? If you want me to play Street Fighter, obviously I already have background in that. We can mess around with any of the characters I've used before. Or if you want to play Tekken, I'll have played Tekken for 2 weeks then. I'll have a good idea maybe what I'm doing. Maybe I could pick a different character or something that day. But you know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that I have a groundwork in, so I could easily jump into those and play those as multiplayer. If you're like, oh, buy Madden, which I'm not going to do, by the way. I'm not fucking buying Madden. But buy Madden and start playing it online, there's no point. It won't be fun. I won't know what I'm doing. I'll play one game, be frustrated, and we'll never play it again. Right? So, old school football games, sure, Dr. Kinnison, but the question is how? How would I play old school football games? What would be the method? You know, last year I played Tecmo Bowl on the Switch, and that worked well. But I don't think we want to see Tecmo Bowl again, right? And I think that the Switch is very limited with its library. So where could I get other games to play is the question, right? People are saying mini PC and emulator. I guess if we could figure that out early enough, because we have about 2.5 weeks out of playing this. If we could figure that out and get it working and play some older retro football games, NFL, I should say, games, perhaps, right? What's up, Jade? Good morning. How are you, Jade? Yeah, you figure it out. See, everyone always says NFL Blitz, but I don't think NFL Blitz is on anything. I don't think you can buy Blitz at all. Like, I think we looked that up, and there was a football game, but it's not Blitz. Yeah, there's no NFL Blitz, like, on a marketplace. And then if you put NFL, you get Madden. 100 fucking versions of Madden, basically. Right? If you put in just football, you get maximum football. Whatever the fuck maximum football is. Axis football. Wild card football. That's the one that's supposedly made to be like NFL Blitz, but it's made by some indie company, and it has that Colin Kaepernick or whatever his name is guy in it for some reason. It's $20. And you have to buy it now. The sale ends in 8 days, then it goes back to 40. Oh my god. So that's what I mean, like, sadly, they just don't really have that many good games. Midwest Man says Mutant League Football, and I think it's on the Mini Genesis you have. If I remember, yes, there was Mutant League Football. We played that already, though. Like, we played that when the Genesis Mini was a new thing years ago. I'd have to find it and dig it out of my storage, which I don't even know where it is back there. I guess if I could find it and plug it in, we could maybe do that. So anyway, this is what we need to figure out. I would think things will definitely do. I'll dress up, right? I'll be in NFL attire. I have the helmet. I've got a foam finger. I've got the football. I've got the jerseys. I'll look the part, right? There'll definitely be food. My wife is going to make multiple kinds of food over the course of the day that we can feast together and you know, and enjoy. But the question is, what will the meat of the event be? Is it reacting to ads? Is it playing games? If it's playing games, is it online or offline games? If it's online games, what games do you want to see me play online? Like I said, the popular choices would be Call of Duty, Street Fighter 6, or Tekken 8. If it's offline, what would be offline gameplay? Do we find football games or other interesting games to play? It doesn't have to be football. We could literally just play other retro games and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like we could play a real old challenging game, fucking Ninja Gaiden or something crazy like that. That's super hard, and that would be funny to see me play. I'm trying to drink and play Ninja Gaiden at the same time, right? Basically, the way I see it, anything competitive and fun in that regard would be fun for that event, right? Because that's the whole point. It's the Super Bowl. It's like the biggest competitive sport in the United States. So I should be doing things that are kind of like considered silly and competitive, right? So that's what I was thinking. Play online fighting games. Play Call of Duty. That's online and competitive. And, you know, play a very challenging retro game during a day when I'm drinking and see how I do, right? Or something like that. That's what I'm thinking anyway, okay? So you guys, let's start talking about it. Let's figure this out. This is our first discussion of it, and let's keep bringing this up every day. You guys try to think of some ideas of what you'd like to see me do, and we have a couple weeks to figure it out. But I'm going to start obviously promoting it now because I want people to show up and hang out with me for my first big event of 2024. And I think it's going to be a fun, chill, good time. So, cool, right? So there you go. DSP Superbowl Bash 2024, Saturday, February 10th, the day before the Super Bowl, right here on DSP Gaming. And let's figure this out. Let's see what we want to do. Okay? Sound good? Good. I'm glad we had the initial discussion. And now let's figure out what we actually want to do during the event. Let's keep this conversation going. Fair enough? Okay. Cool. Okay. Do I still have Rocket League? Rocket League was on PlayStation, correct? So it should still be there digitally. It should still be on there. I think it was the free PS Plus game ages ago, and I have PS Plus right now. So yeah, I'd be able to do that, I guess. Okay. That is true. Derek says chicken wings are popular Super Bowl food. If we did it, we wouldn't do shitty little chicken wings. We'd probably get like big chicken and marinate it, right? Marinate the chicken overnight and then do some crazy chicken recipe. Hot wings or something. We'd have to think. I'll talk to Kat about that. We'll definitely figure out a few really good recipes we want to do for the event. That should be fun. Okay. All right, cool. Let's get to shout outs. So that way we don't get too far behind here. All right. We start off today with Gatsu Katsu, who became a member, and it's legit. So thank you, Gatsu Katsu, for a legit membership and support this morning. I really appreciate that, and thank you for the help. Tips. We start off today with a series of tips. The first tip that came in today, a $5 tip. His name is Rick Perez. Okay, he says, I have a genius idea. Restream the Super Bowl, but have a controller in your hands and pretend like you're actually playing the game. I don't think that would work. I'm pretty sure that if I attempted to restream the Super Bowl, the stream would be immediately shut down and copyright stricken into oblivion. So, Rick, as much as I appreciate your suggestion, I'm going to have to shoot it down immediately. But I do appreciate the $5 tip to get stuff started today. Thank you so much. Okay. Then I received a very, very generous $25 tip, and this is actually from Gatsukatsu. So thank you to Gatsukatsu for a $25 tip this morning. Let's get you on the leaderboard and see what you have to say here. So thank you, Gatsukatsu. He says, hey, Phil, sorry I've been out of the loop for a while. I wanted to let you know I'm happy that you're staying out of nonsense and able to maintain your self-respect and not stoop to bullshit. Looking up to you. Well, thank you, Gatsu. Again, I feel like this is evidence that I am improving, that I'm getting better, that I'm learning, evolving, and changing for the better. Instead of making the same mistakes over and over, I'm adapting, correct? And I feel like, yeah, if I had done this documentary now, this would have likely ended up being a mistake. Or even if it wasn't a mistake, it still like would have negatively impacted other people, and that's what I didn't want to do right now. So I'm happy that I feel like, unlike a year ago, where I idiotically made a big mistake and then everyone paid for it all year, I feel like we've recovered from that, right? And that's a good thing. So thank you, Gatsu Katsu, for that. I appreciate that. Good to see you back, by the way. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can get this to load. Hold on, because this is not loading. Hold on. Stupid thing. Yeah, what is this? Dumb thing? What the fuck? What the? Alright, hold on. Things are running really poorly on my laptop, and it's pissing me off. I can't even, like, click around. The thing is lagging up. I might have to refresh everything here. Look at this. What the fuck? What is all this? What the? I'm not even clicking stuff, and it's opening stuff up. Get the fuck out of here. I apologize. Usually this thing is working nice and streamlined. And today this is giving me problems. Okay. Alright. I got it working now. My apologies that it was messed up. No, okay. So there's nothing to shout out as of yet. Cool. I will check again in a few minutes. Okay. No one's so remotely controlling it. You know, I have to, because of the way I run everything, I have to have multiple email addresses and everything open at every given time. And sometimes one of them will lag up. And then when you try to click on it, the whole thing's fucked up. And then you get fucking ads are popping. I was like, what the fuck is this? I just want to open my email and see what's in there. Why am I getting 100 things in my face? This is stupid. Anyway. So, okay. I received a $5 tip. Oh God, let's just listen to this. From an anonymous tipper. How about instead of a Super Bowl party, you have a disaster preparation party because Seattle is a dangerous location. In your game room, let's watch you place chicken wire on the wall, ceiling, floor, and connect to electronic grounding. Boom, you have a Faraday cage and are ready to continue gaming during an electromagnetic anomaly event or nukes. It's interesting. I hate to say this. I think that Seattle would not be a likely place that anyone would nuke. I hate to tell you. I don't think that there's anything really... They're not gonna be nuking Seattle. Alright? If anything, maybe a dormant volcano, right, that's been dormant for many, many years may surprisingly erupt and get ash and soot into the air and cause some evacuations in certain areas. That's probably the riskiest thing that's going to happen out here, right? I hate to say, you know, I know that you like to think that things are that exciting, but it's not really that exciting. Nobody really cares about Seattle, honestly. I'm just being honest. Like, if you're talking about, like, strategic parts of the United States, it's not like, you know, well, we can take out Washington, D.C., we can take out New York City, right? It's like, Seattle. What would the strategic impact of taking over or destroying Seattle be, right? Oh, darn. Those hipsters. We really destroyed them. Oh, no. All those rampant shoplifters have been destroyed, right? It's like, doesn't really do that much, right? So, I'm just saying. So, I don't think it's that big of a deal. That big of a risk. Anyway. All right. So let's continue on now. I think I've covered everything as of now. So if and when more stuff happens for me to shout out, I will appropriately. But outside of that, I think if you guys have any questions for me, please toss them my way. Yes, Joe Aloft, I'm well aware that the new Prince of Persia game has gotten tons of praise from media and gamers alike. The problem is the timing is awful. That game, if it had come out in early January, like the first week, I probably would have played it instead of Sea of Stars even. But it just came out, right? Like just a couple days ago. And that's just awful timing for a game that is, by all reports, 25 hours long. It's a Metroidvania game. I don't really have time to play it. With these 2 new games coming out Friday, like, those are my priorities right now. And that's likely going to take me between that and Baldur's Gate 3 and maybe going back to Sea of Stars. And now we've got this Pal World game to check out. That's pretty much my focus moving forward. We just don't have time to throw in another game like that. If it really is good, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. It looked good to me. When I saw the previews, I thought it looked good. Jade, okay, he says, I feel good. I just want to say hi. I'm not going to see you for the react, but he says he will be here. He will there, or I don't know if I'll see you tonight because he's not subbed in DSP Throwback. That's right. I should say this, guys. DSP Throwback, that channel is the same as every other channel. In order for you to talk and chat, you have to be subscribed to the channel for 24 hours. So if you didn't subscribe, you can't talk on tonight's stream. And there's nothing I can do about that. We have to have that 24-hour sub mode in place to stop robot accounts. People coming in with their bot accounts and doing stupid shit. So if you didn't sub over there, first of all, I don't know why you didn't. I told you about the channel for like a month. So you would think that if you were interested in the channel or streams on it, you would have subscribed by now. If you didn't, obviously my bad that you didn't understand that. I probably should have explained it better or portrayed it more transparently. I still think it'll be a great stream tonight, even if we don't have that many people who can talk in the chat. I do believe, even if you can't talk in the chat, can you still... Well, the one thing you could do, you could tip. Now, I know people say, oh, well, he's forcing contributions. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, let's say you're a fan, and you had every intention of attending the stream tonight, but you forgot to subscribe to the channel. If you tip, I can read your message, right? So that's how we can communicate. I don't know about super chats, though. I don't know if they allow you to super chat over there if you can't talk in the chat. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I really don't know how it works. You know, I don't know the ins and outs of the YouTube stuff. So I guess we'll find out together tonight, right? All right, so Jade, I might or might not see you tonight. All right, sounds good. Remember, we'll be back to normal tomorrow with gameplay and everything. Okay. I received a $2 tip. This is Slurpee. These are all possible scenarios that interrupt gaming. You should take them seriously, including volcanoes. There you go. I'm just saying that if nukes were landing, probably my last concern would be keeping the stream online. You know what I mean? Because if nukes were landing, probably the infrastructure of the country would be so ruined that I probably still wouldn't be able to broadcast regardless, and money probably wouldn't even be accessible. I'm just saying. Dr. Kinnison said it would be great if you returned to Elden Ring or replayed Bloodborne. You know, we have that Elden Ring playthrough that is on hiatus since like May of last year. I really enjoyed it, and you guys were watching it and supporting it, but new releases started coming out, and we just never got back to it. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. I think what happened is people kind of saw the gist of me doing the magic run, and we're like, we've seen enough, and we just want the DLC now, right? So I guess we'll see when the DLC comes out what happens. No, that's crazy. Absolutely, no matter where I stream, I have to have the sub mode on YouTube. It has to be. You can't. It would be such an uncontrollable, toxic, nonsensical environment to not have the sub mode on. Like I said, we didn't have it when we first started streaming on YouTube 3 years ago. There was no sub mode. And for those first couple of weeks, that was terrible. It was a nightmare. And I was like, well, I can't go back to Twitch right now. I have to deal with this. And it was just non-stop bullshit sock accounts coming in, spamming, getting banned. 5 seconds later, they're back in again. It was just endless nonsense. And it really was hard to maintain any kind of a real meaningful conversation with anyone because of that. And then finally, when sub mode got enabled, it was like a night and day situation. It felt like a completely different environment, and it was so much better that we could actually have that level of interaction and fun and not constant trolling. So, abso-freaking-lutely, we need to have the sub mode on. I received a $25 tip from 1 Minute Man. He says, there is one type of documentary you could make. You have a uniquely created cult. You have uniquely created a cult of people who love to hate you. Some restream, others watch the restreamers for years. Collectively, they're wasting thousands of hours, but they can't stop. You're like the worm in Baldur's Gate 3, low focusing on you as the cult leader. Okay, then. There you go. And the sad fact about all of that is, I'm not asking for it. I'm not wanting that. I never designed that. And I don't want it to continue. If it could end right now, I want it to. So imagine essentially being followed as if you were some kind of a leader. Like there's a cult of people following you out there, stalk your every move, won't leave you alone, right? As if you're some kind of an influential cult leader. But you wouldn't want anything but the opposite of that. I don't want them following me. I don't want them watching me. I don't want them caring about anything I say and do. I just want them to go the fuck away and get lives. Because the truth is, if any of them had a real life, none of them would do that. You see? But they don't. None of them have real lives. They're just sitting away on the internet, squandering their lives away, doing this kind of toxic shit. And apparently, they don't have anyone in their lives who cares enough about them to tell them to stop. Because the truth is, if they had family members, friends, significant others who actually cared about them, they'd see that kind of crazy obsessive behavior and be like, you got to stop. You're out of your mind. We want to help you. Let's get you into rehab, whatever it is, detox you from this shit that you're in and get you a real life again. But sadly, these people don't have that, right? They don't have that at all for whatever reason. I can't imagine. If I was acting like that, I would probably have people all over me saying, what are you doing with your life, right? But I really do feel that this whole mentality of internet trolling, internet hate communities, drama communities, gossip communities, conspiracy communities on the internet, this is an obsession and it's an addiction like any other. It's just as powerful as drugs, alcohol, or any other addiction. Food, sex, all these addictions. This internet trolling addiction is exactly the same thing. You get used to it. It's part of your routine. You have social groups based around it, but it's not healthy behavior. It's squandering your life away for nothing. But it concretely hurts you and everyone around you, and you refuse to accept it, and you refuse to acknowledge it. You just keep doing it as if it's an accepted arbitrary action. When in reality, people who are outside of your bubble would look at you and say, what is wrong with that person? That person needs help. That's the sad fact, is they don't see it from outside the bubble. They're so in their own focus group of people, enabling them to keep this behavior up, that they think that this is fine, and it's not. They need help, and no one's helping them. That's sad. And how many more? There's more and more people like this every day. Antisocial, sitting on the internet all day, whether it's on a smartphone, a desktop, another device. Everything they do is online. no social interaction, no meaningful relationships at all in their life, just sitting there online. Their entire existence is some little microcosm of existence, hyper-focused on the one community where they actually feel like they get attention in life, and it's a toxic online community of fucking people doing harmful stuff. That's not an existence at all. I wouldn't even call that a human existence. It's not. And how many more people are having lives like this, right? That's what needs to be analyzed. Not the guy who for 15 years dicked around playing video games on the fucking internet. How about the people who obsess over that guy for no reason? That's who needs to be analyzed. Turn the cameras back on you. Who's the lolcow here? You are. You're the ones making the content, not me. I'm just sitting here playing games, having fun with a small audience. You're the ones pumping out thousands of hours of insane content. You're the lolcows. You're the ones that are being milked. Do you not understand this? I guess not, because self-awareness is something very rare in this world. Anyway. Let's continue, shall we? Okay. So, anything else you guys would like to talk about this morning? Please tag me in the chat if you have anything to speak of. Derek says, how many months is a super member? Is it 10 months? That's not how it works, Derek. There's different levels of membership on this channel. There's standard, super, and ultra, but that's depending on the level. That's not the length. Are you asking when you're going to get your new crown? Because it looks like you did get your crown, right? It looks like you got the regal crown. The way the crowns work, there's the standard crown is bronze. The 1 month anniversary is silver. The 2 month anniversary is gold. And then I think there's a 6 month that has the jewels encrusted in the gold crown. And then the 1 year is the regal crown, which is the gold and looks regal. And then the 2 year is the rose gold, which is what a lot of people like Casanova has, the rose gold right there. And some people are now going to be coming up on their 3 year anniversary, and that's the diamond crown. And that's currently the highest level you can obtain on the channel when people start hitting their 3 year anniversary. And then there now is the ability to actually do a 4 year crown. But I don't know if I'll do a crown. I might just do something completely random and different for 4 years, like do a different emote or something in there. So yeah, Gatu, you've missed a lot. So first Gatu had said, wow, 1 Minute Man said something, things are different in 2024. No, 1 Minute Man has actually been talking for a few months now. Most of the time during I say his, but we don't know that, we just know that the name is 1 Minute Man, right? So during their tips, they have been saying stuff. So that's one thing you missed. And then Gatu just said, I saw Cats on a few times, I'm looking forward to some new co-ops. And that's right. My wife has returned to my content for the first time in over 5 years. Initially, it's just Q&A, but now she's going to save it. She's going to come back on stream when Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is out, and we're going to do that virtual island building together in the game, which should be really, really neat. So, yes, that is coming. Cool. Hold on a second here. Let's see here. You can always tell when I speak something that is truthful and it hits a nerve, because then I start getting people tipping me $1 and swearing at me because they're upset that I spoke truth on my stream. That's the best. When you get someone who's so upset that you actually resonated with something truthful, they can't handle reality because it smacks them right in the face. So now they start tipping me, oh my God, how could you say that? That's pretty good. Anyway. Nope, we don't have a green screen anymore. I had a green screen many years ago. And it was huge, and it was in my garage. It wouldn't have ever fit in this office, and that's how you got the green screen footage of me dancing around. But that thing broke down over the years and got thrown out years ago. So I do not have a green screen currently. Because Dr. Kinnison suggested maybe you could do like a silly green screen scene for the Super Bowl event. Nah, I don't have it anymore. You're right. I could have put on like the jersey, the helmet, and the football. I could have been running, and I could have had like football behind me, right? That would have been pretty funny, but I don't have a green screen. Nor would a green screen really work with this setup. There's just not a lot of room in this room to make something like that work. So Currently, the highest level crown in the chat is the 3-year anniversary, which is the Diamond Crown. But over the last year, YouTube enabled a 4-year anniversary member icon, but I don't have anything for it yet because they just enabled that like in the last year. So I'm going to think about, and I have a year to plan it, so I have to think about what I want to do for the 4-year anniversary. Maybe I'll do something silly, like my face doing something crazy, and you get that next to your name if you're the 4-year member or whatever, right? We'll see. Radical Jaws, I don't think we played enough of Pal World for me to start having favorite pals yet. We've only got the initial one, so. I wasn't expecting anyone to ask me to play Overwatch 2. I don't think that's happening. A little late for that one. And hey, not for lack of trying, because man, I wanted to play Overwatch 2, and the game just didn't fucking work, right? I wanted to play that. I tried for 2 weeks straight, and the game never fucking worked, so I gave up. Chrono Cross after Sea of Stars? No, I think there's so many RPGs out this year, we need to give RPGs a rest. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, I'm playing Sea of Stars, we're about to start Like a Dragon, then we're going to be playing Final Fantasy 7. It's like, when did the RPGs stop? There's too many RPGs now. Like I've been telling you guys, this is a problem now in the gaming community and the game dev community. They're all making the same kind of game, and they're all going to cannibalize each other. You can't just endlessly make RPGs. They take too long to play, they're too immersive, they take too much attention, and for a streamer like me, I can't get through them because they take too long. And that's a huge problem, you know? So, no, I don't think we're doing Chrono Cross. I think we need to stop playing a million RPGs and play other games. No, I did not. I did not own Street Fighter on a Tiger handheld. I've seen it in stores, but I never got it because it looked like shit. I had a few Tiger handhelds, but I can't really remember what they were. I'm trying to remember exactly what they were, because the thing is, I never bought one. I've literally never bought a Tiger handheld. They were always gifted to me, like Christmas. You know, a relative would buy it and give it to you for Christmas. You're like, what the fuck is this? It's not even a real video game. But I mean, you would still play it. You know, that was before the era of even like Game Boy. So you would still take that with you in the car and play it when you were like, you know, traveling and stuff. Sarah, I understand what you're saying. She says the games industry does not make their decisions based on the needs of streamers for variety. You're right. But even if I wasn't a streamer, realistically, how are they expecting me? Think about this. You're just a gamer, and RPGs are your favorite genre of game, all right? But you have a life. This isn't your job, so you get to maybe game a few hours a day, right? So you're telling me that within 1 month, as a fan of RPGs, right, I'm supposed to play Like a Dragon Infinite Well, the Grand Blue Fantasy game, Persona 3 Reloaded, and Final Fantasy 7 in 1 month. Each game there is probably anywhere from 50 to 100 hours long, and a normal person can only game 2 to 3 hours a day tops. So how the fuck do I play all those games exactly? And before you say, oh, well, don't play them all at launch, play them later, then you've lost the opportunity to play the game during its launch window when it's most hype and buzz is around it. So that's a problem, right? Sarah says, I'm going to take 3 months sick leave and cut off all my friends and family to play them. Well, I guess if you're going to do that, I guess that's one way to handle it. I don't think most people would do that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't feel most people would handle it in that manner. But I think you see my point. Again, I'm only saying this about RPGs because that's where it's happening. Imagine if within 1 month we had Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8. In 1 month. They'd be out of their fucking minds. There's no way that community is going to buy 3 fighting games and try to juggle them at the same time. You know, it's the same deal. Those games take tons of time investment, learning, gameplay hours to play and enjoy. You can't just have them all out at once, and that's what they're trying to do with these RPGs, and it's idiotic. They need to space them out, and they're not doing that, right? Grinch says, I agree. I love RPGs, but I have a small daughter. I have a full-time job. I feel lucky to even get 1 to 2 hours in a day. If I wake up super early, I try to game before work, before my little ones even wake up. I mean, realistically, that's most of us, right? I'm the exception to the rule. I'm the one who's playing these games full-time, and even I can't play them all, right? Now, imagine if you have a job, a family, a life outside of your gaming hobby, and the hobby is the thing you squeeze in. How the fuck do you play all these RPGs? It's insane. Cabal says there were more JRPGs that came out last year than there was time to even play them, even if you were playing them as a full-time job. I would believe that. I end up having to skip a lot of games, and it's crazy because, like, I get comments on my videos all the time. Man, Phil has changed. Phil really has just changed. I can't believe him. Just take a look in the last few weeks. He didn't play Prince of Persia. He didn't play... There was another one, too, that just came out. There was like, Avatar. He didn't play Avatar. He didn't play Prince of Persia, right? I can't believe it. He used to be the guy who would play all these games. He's really lost his way as a content creator. And I'm like, you act like I sit here and I'm not playing any games, right? Like, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, which by far was the most requested game of last year that I didn't play. So I've been playing that for over a month, and I'm like almost 60 hours into it now, right? I've been playing Sea of Stars, the game that won Indie Game of the Year just a few weeks ago, right? I'm finishing up my gameplay of Street Fighter 6. And I'm trying out, like, this new game, Pal World. It's like a virally popular game. Like, I'm trying to do the things that most people want. But you're right. 15 years ago, when I started on YouTube, it was easy to be the guy to play every major release because there just weren't that many. You know, in a given month, you could probably count on your hands the number of big game releases in a month. Because typically it would be like 2 or 3 tops. Now, any given month, this game, 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 and there's 7 in each genre. Like, now what do I play? You know, I don't know. You got to make these tough decisions. And especially I have to judge it on not only what do I like, because if I were playing only what I liked the most, you would definitely see something different than what I'm doing. I have to base it off of not only what I like, but what you guys like, so that we're balancing it so that we have the happy medium between, right, where we were meeting halfway, because I need to maintain this as a place that people will come and hang out and watch. I can't just play this one style of game all day, because not everyone's going to be here for DSP RPG, right? Might as well just change DSP Gaming to DSP RPG and play every RPG and play nothing else, right? Crow, today's not the Super Bowl party stream. Today we started the planning for the Super Bowl party. The Super Bowl party is on Saturday, February 10th, if you're not aware. I'll see you on DSP Reacts, Derek. When I lived by myself in the condo, how many hours per day did I play? I played more than I do now, but I didn't do it as consistently. So, for example, Tuesday was the big new release day back then. And so when a million games came out on a Tuesday, I would go to GameStop and buy them all. I would do my release day unboxing video, and I would release that first to get the hype built. Then I would go into game number 1. I would play that for like 3-4 hours, record, immediately start uploading, go right into game number 2, play that for 3-4 hours, start that uploading, go get food, right? Eat dinner, which was basically fast food, terrible for you. Then I would start game number 3, play it for like 2 hours, start drinking profusely, rum and coke or something like that. And I would play that for like another 3-4 hours. So within that launch day, sometimes I would have played 3 different games that came out on the same day and upload all that footage. And then I would pass out drunk in the middle of the night, wake up the next day, and immediately start the marathon again. But the thing was, I didn't do it every day. That would be like maybe 3-4 days I'd go crazy and try to get through as much of those games as possible. And again, back then, games were very different than today. Not every game was a 20 to 40 hour experiences. Some games could be beaten in 10 hours. So sometimes you beat games within a day or two. In which case now you can focus more on the games that are longer. And you could relax a little bit. You know, back then I had co-op days with John Rambo on Saturday. That broke up the monotony of doing the full playthrough grind every day. And then every Sunday, I actually spent time with my parents where we go out to dinner and have some time together. So basically, weekends were like the breakup time for me, while like Monday through Friday was serious business, go through playthroughs and shit. And then Saturday, Sunday was more relaxing days of different kinds of content, you see? So it was very different. When you don't have to live stream, let me tell you, when you don't have to live stream it, it's just pure videos and uploading pure videos. You have more flexibility. Like, hey, I got to take a shit. I can take a shit. No one cares because no one's watching live. So I'll take the shit whenever I want, right? I'll take a break whenever I want. I'll take a 15-minute break and stretch and walk around my house. And no one cares because no one's here live to have to wait for me, you know? It's a big difference. But then again, the online interaction of a stream is much better than just making videos by yourself. You get bored. And that's the thing. Like, I got burnt out over the years of doing content like that. It's just me sitting here talking to a TV myself. You know what I mean? Like, how many hours of dead air can I fill? You get so bored of it. And you get, I mean, that's why a lot of the commentary back then was so weird. It's because why is he always constantly making a sexual joke or a racial joke? I got to kill the dead air. If I don't do that, what am I doing? I'm not talking to anyone. So I got to just kind of constantly fill the dead air with stuff to talk about to keep people entertained. And it ends up being very different than today, which feels way more organic, way more natural to make the content the way that I do today because I'm talking to an audience, you see? All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I forgot to put on my Gunner glasses, by the way, and I apologize. I will be wearing these for the entire React show. I totally forgot to put them on, and that's my fault. But yeah, it's time to wrap it up because I got to switch over to DSP Reacts and get that stream going for you, all right? So one more quick reminder. Right now, we're heading over to DSP Reacts for that stream. That should be a fun one. It's always great to react to the clips that you guys have set up for me. Tonight, there is no stream here on DSP Gaming. It's over on DSP Throwback, and that stream will start roughly 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I need extra time to set it up to get the Nightbot working and to get pop-ups and everything working properly. And that's my first ever stream over there, reacting to the Red Dead 1 playthrough. That should be fun. Tomorrow, we reconvene here for a full day of gameplay between Resident Evil 0 Remastered finishing and then the final stream of Street Fighter 6. It should be a good day. Okay, guys? All right, thank you all. Great podcast today. Let's start brainstorming the ideas for the Super Bowl event. I'm excited for it, and I hope that you guys are too. I appreciate you all hanging out with me every day like you do, and I will see you all tomorrow for another awesome edition of the Level 1 Podcast.